Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making the Gene Stealer cult bases. Not that many. I only need a few types, but alright, so the entire scene is already pre-made, or like the measurements of all the pieces are in their millimeters. All our presets are done. We brought in all our tools and stuff from the previous video. I have my reference picture for the Patriarch's base, since it has a giant pipe surrounded by rocks and stuff in it, and I have my little measuring sticks based off of it. So now we're going to start with making the bases. And so we're going to start off by making first the actual physical bottom base that the models will stand on. Alright, so first, checking cameras. Alright, we're looking down. So we're going to press Shift A, mesh. We're going to bring a cylinder. We're going to add the cylinder, and we're going to make sure it is smooth. So let's go big. 96, 3 times the amount. Right, and it is very small. So let's start by bringing this sucker up. So the amount of bases I actually need are, I need one 50mm base, I need 3 32mm bases, and I need 12 25mm bases, all based off of the amount of Gene Stealer cult models in the blocks. And some of their characters have familiars with this little thing. So we're going to press 1, shift the camera to the front, and we're going to press tab, swap to edit mode. We're going to have it selected to faces, and grab this face up here, and we're going to lower this. This is one way of doing it. Another easy way is going on the Z axis and like, what is the height? I'm going to go with, actually, I'm going to go with something that's simple to work with. I'm going to go with a total height of 3.5. Alright, let's right click this. Let's just set origin to geometry just so this is a bit easier to work with. Alrighty then. That's the start of our base. 3.5mm. We could make this a bit taller, but whatever. Alright then. Let's smooth this out actually. So I'm going to go to edit mode. Grab the lines and oh dang, it was already selected. Hold control and collect all these lines. Good. Then we're gonna right click and mark sharp and also mark seam. I don't know which one does which, but we're gonna do it anyway. And I'm gonna repeat this process on the bottom. Hold control, left click on a piece, selects all the way there. Boom. Mark seam, mark sharp. Alright, now that's done. We're going to go to, is it here? Yes, auto smooth, 30 degrees. We're going to go press tab and go back to object mode, and we're going to right click on this and shade smooth. Boom! This side is perfectly smooth, and these are still sharp. Alright, so now we got that out of the way. So, one thing I've noticed is that the models, the bottom of the bases and the top of the bases aren't the same size, essentially. So, I'm going to click on this, press tab, switch to edit mode, click on this to switch to faces, grab the face, and we're going to scale this down just a bit. Press 7 to look up top. The actual size we want to bring it down is by 2mm, which is a little difficult to grasp here. How much is 2mm? So we'll actually figure that out. We'll press Shift A. Oh wait, go back to object mode. Shift A. We're going to create a cube. I'm going to bring this up, and look at that. The cube already spawns at 2mm. So we're just going to take this. We're going to move this off to the side. Boom. That's 2mm. I mean, you can make this whatever you like, but I kind of prefer it this way. So grab on the face, scale it, and press S for scale, and we can just move the mouse whichever. And boom. Does that curvature look right to you? Oh, it looks pretty good. Yeah. So, alrighty then. Now we got that with this little measuring thing. Alright, that is a nice and sweet looking base, but the bottom is not so fine. So, what I'm gonna do is go back to object mode. An easy way to get a perfect view of the bottom is Control 7. Yeah, hold Control and press the camera button 7, and you'll look at the bottom. So this is us looking down at the bottom. We're we're gonna select this face, then we're gonna press E to extrude. And that's creating a new face, and then we're gonna scale that down. Yes. How big should this face be, actually? I'm gonna grab our little measuring object, and this is how thick the sides of the base are gonna stand on. We could just make this very thick. Let's just make it 2 millimeters as well. This is gonna be a thick base, or a thick rim. Alright, so grabbing the face, and I cannot see the object. Hold on, maybe if I... Oh, right, that's because it's up above. Let's grab this object, pull it down. Okay, that's good enough. Alright. Yes. And click on this. Tab to object mode. Click on the face. Alright. Now. There we go. Perfect. Well, I mean, that's a little bulky, but here's one of the things you got to note is that some things in the 3D software program is going to look bigger because you're like zoomed in perfectly, so you can see it like here. But when you zoom out, I mean, when you actually print these things that look very thick and sturdy are actually very thin because then you see their actual size. This is 2 millimeters. That's actually pretty thin. So it may look thick here, but it's still going to be a bit thin. All right, now that we have this out of the way, we're going to... Yeah, we can't do that. So we're going to press E again, and we're going to extrude. And this, we're going to move up. So I'm going to move it up just a little bit. Control 7, get it down here again. I'm going to go back to object mode. I'm going to move this in a bit more, just for referencing. Okay. And so basically what we want to do is, this face is selected, press S for scale. We're going to scale this a bit more, because you know when the inside of the base is, they're curved towards the inside. So, curving over 2 millimeters. I mean, this is a very thick base. Yeah, it's thicker than what GW produces, but I prefer my models to be solid. And now, now that that's done, so I just recently learned this from my making cases stuff, is that my magnets are 0.2 millimeters thick, and that is 1.5 millimeters too thin to reach the bottom. So if I'm going to keep these models, I'm actually going to go to object mode. So this is exactly 2 millimeters. So if I move this up to here, or actually, yeah. So if I move this up to here, that is the exact thickness of my magnet. There'll be a little super glue underneath here, so that'll get in the way. So what we basically want to do, yeah, that's what I thought. Want to grab this face, and we basically want to move it up until we can fully see that base, until just there. And we can use this probably for more accurate 0.03. That kind of looks it. Is it? Yeah, 0.03. Let's go with that. 0.03. Is it good if it's a little bit more? No noticeable difference. All right, so 0.032. Will that be better? I can't tell. Oh wait. It's hard to tell. All right, let's just go to 0.03, which will give like 0.5 millimeter. Yeah. Alrighty then. Alright. I changed my mind. I want it to be 0.027. .025. Yeah, this is all in the decision stuff. You guys can decide on your own what is right. You know what? I'm okay if the base, or if the thing sticks out a little bit. Alright, so whatever. 0.021. Just a 1 millimeter space for super glue. Yeah, never mind. Alright, we'll just make it perfect. Alright, now that the OCD part is done, or my part of that is done. Alright, so basically now what we have is a solid, very solid base. So since the bottom should be here, so this should be a good, probably 1 millimeter thick, or 1.5. So this is a pretty solid base. This is very strong. Yeah, the dimensions are not that important overall. So, yeah, so adjust as you like, but I'm just making it thick just because I want it to be strong, and also to endure some of the printing stuff. If stuff is too thin, it might warp in the printer. I don't know why. That's happened with a few of my bases, or there's little chunks missing off the side. That's fine overall, I guess, but Alright, and so now what I'm going to do is, so this base is not the right size. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this to 50 and press, switch to that, 50. So now this is the Patriarch's base size. In fact, let's take a quick look. Yep, perfectly fits that. Alright, so we have the Patriarch base. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to call this 50 millimeter. Alright. And then I'm going to go with over here, press, here's the thing I never taught you. Shift D creates a duplicate of an object. Alright, and we're going to call this 32 millimeter. Alrighty. And then we're actually going to click on here, shift that to 32, press tab to make it go down to here, 32, boom. And then we got the base for 32. And then we're going to press shift D again, create another clone, rename this 25, or 25 millimeter, 25 millimeter, and then we're going to change this to 25 millimeter. Boom, 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 and done. And that will be all the bases we need. Well, not really, but these are the different sizes. Alright, that was the easy part. Now, here is the kind of a difficult part, is theme. My army of Gene Stealer cults that I will inevitably sell, even though I like the army, I'll build them on my own time. Well, at least I'll put them on eBay. But there's supposed to be like a theme, so what's a tying unit? So Shadow Throne. So, with the Custodes, I mean, they're the Custodes, they're coming from the Imperial Palace, and I cannot imagine the Imperial Palace not having the finest ground. If the ground could have been made of gold, I'm sure they would have done it. So I'm assuming that like fine marble and stuff, so that was the idea. The painting theme, and then make something nice, uniform, clean cut for the Custodes. And for Gene Stealer cults, they're not getting inside the palace, let's be realistic. But outside the palace, what's it look like? Dirt, rocks, that's too common. Why would we 3D print something like that? We could probably say like, well, bricks and stuff, like dirty bricks. So simple brickwork, maybe some dirt here and there. So that's something we can try. The overall style and theme would probably be bricks and dirt. Or wait, actually, bricks, dirt, industry. Oh yeah, that'll be an interesting mix. So metal grating, metal ground, and some bricks. Bricks will be a lot easier to make with what I showed beforehand. Dirt will require a special brush, which I didn't show you beforehand, so I guess I'll avoid that. Now, before we start crafting something or sculpting anything, the first thing we need to do is another set of measurements. Now, our measuring tools. So I didn't show this in the first one, but there are certain things you need. You're going to need... So, this is something I discovered. Unless you have like a 4K or 8K printer, I don't have that kind of stuff. There's a level of detail that won't show up if it's too small. And I've gotten them around 1.25, 1.25, 1.25. So this block, this little cube, is going to be 1.25 millimeters. So this is like the smallest you can create something where there'll be like something noticeable, like a gap, or like a shoulder pad. Like, let's say if there's like an eagle or flat thing here, and then there's a little embellishment on it, it has to be like 1.25 to really show up on the model noticeably. Things in between this may not print at all, or just like you might not even notice it with your own eye. So you have to be aware of these limitations. So 1.25 is one of these. The next one is a cube around, well, 1.5. So 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Alright, and 1.5 millimeter. Alrighty then, after that, then probably one of the last big things is like, so gaps between things. between bricks and such. The smallest, absolute smallest a gap can be that, well, at least my printer, which is decent, it's a monocubic photon, is 0.8. So if there isn't a gap of this between them, you're not even going to notice it with your eye, and the printer might screw it up. So that is the smallest, but the true ideal size will be a 1 millimeter. So I'll put this 1 mm. Did I mark that previous one? And then, no, I did not. So 0.8 mm. Alright, so these are our special measuring sticks. And they'll be very important for cleaning up and making sure your design will actually work in print. You don't want to spend many hours on a design and then find out it just doesn't work. Alright, so dirty, broken bricks, rusted, bad grating and stuff like that, metal grates, stuff like that. So we're going to start off with bricks. We're going to make just a few. So let's start off simple. Shift A, cube. Alright, let's bring you up to size. So we're going to make a vanilla size basic brick. So with this picture in mind, so you have an idea of the scale, this is the kind of base. We don't want it to be that big. We want it 10 millimeter. Yeah, 10's good. So we'll start off with 10. The X, and then we'll do Y. You know what? Make it 7. Yeah, that's a nice brick size. And the height, so this is a bit questionable. Let's settle for something like 3, because that's the height. It's mostly for it to plug into the surrounding area and such like that. So essentially it has to touch all the pieces of the models that you create have to touch and connect. So this extra 3 is just like some extra insurance to make sure there's never any gaps between. I mean, you can make it 4. I mean, we made these bases pretty thick, so that's possible, but I'll just stick with 3 for now. I could be completely wrong and be screwed by this later. Alright, so let's press Alt-G to center this. Alright, now let's press Tab to go to edit mode, and let's just do something simple. Let's grab this. Let's, actually 3 is still, what we're going to do is press E to create a new face. We're going to press S to scale. We're going to bring this down a bit. So how much is that? So 1 millimeter is enough. So like so will probably be good. Then we'll tap on this. Got it. The height. Alright, and then Alt-G, alright, tab. Yes, I can see that. Alright, so 1 millimeter, that'll be good enough. Alright, and then with this like so, we're not going to create an extra face. What we'll do is going to press G to grab it. I'm going to press Z, and we're just going to move our mouse up a bit. 1 millimeter. So press 1 on the camera to make it like this. Go back to object mode, let's set this down here, right on this there. Grab here, tab, back again. Yeah. That should be noticeable. Yeah, that's a good brick size. Alright. Alright, let's just move this off to the side. Alrighty then. That is a pretty decent vanilla brick. So we'll keep one of these. So I'm going to move this off to the side. Now we're going to press Shift A. Or no, not Shift A. We're going to clone this with Shift D. Then press Alt G to center it again. Alright. So we got a nice one. Let's break this a bit. How do we want to do that? Yeah, I got nothing. Alright, so we'll just make it simple. So I'm going to press, what was that? Alt-Shift-X? Yeah, that's it. Difference. No. We want a line. So space, create a line. Alright, let's try this. So what about a bit of this, a bit of that, boom, 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 boom. Then we're gonna go. So these little sidebars are pretty useful, so that'll help us detect. It may look big here, but it might not be big out there. So this is like 1 millimeter. Okay. And cursor depth. I wanted to go to cursor depth, and then we left click. No, space. Dang it, I turned cursor depth off. Alright then, so Control Z to undo that. Alright. Cursor depth. I didn't notice that, darn it. Alright, so basically we just make a crack however you like. And then around 1 millimeter thick as best you can grasp it. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Cursor depth and space. Boom, boom. We got this nice crack in. Alright, so that's one brick that is broken up. Yeah. Alright. Throw in there. Shift D. Alt G to center it. Alrighty then. So now, again, Control Shift X, create this. Space to change it to line. Cursor depth is on. How do we want to do this one? Let's do this way. Boom, 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 boom. There, that is nice. And then about 1 millimeter thick. Boom, boom. Let's see what. Let's add a little tangent here. And then back here, and then boom, 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 and space. Boom. That's a nice break. That's a nice break. Yeah. I mean, it looks big right here, but when it's actually printed out, that's going to be a bit different. And so we're just going to make a bunch of bricks. So just have fun with it. Do what you like. Remember, this is art. This is fun. So I'm going to skip ahead, and you're going to see a few more bricks in existence. And voila, we have a lot of interesting things here. Alright, so we have... Alright, so we have the basic brick. We have ones with some cuts all in different directions. One that's more scattered. And we have one brick that's off to the side, like broken in half, downbound at an angle, just to make things more interesting. So now we have a collection of random bricks. We'll start moving on to grates. Alright, let's start with some corrugated metal. So Shift A, make a cube. Let's increase its size. Let's go big. Yeah, something like this. And then we're going to change its height to 2 meters. 2 millimeters. Yeah, that's a good one. Alright, and then what we're going to do is... how do I want to play this? So, there's a certain object we're going to have to create to go along with this. Yeah. Now, first we're going to go... was it Control R? No, was it in edit mode? Yeah, Control R. Yes, we only want one of these. Good. One cut. I'm going to put it like off to this side here. You can see like these little notches here. Alright, and then select everything again. Control R. Yeah, Control R. Click on that, and then move this over to here. Boom. I'm going to do the same thing again. Control R. What can I get? Yeah, there we go. I'm going to move this up to here. Yes. And then Control R again. Boom, and boom. Making this up as I go. So is the raw authenticness. Alright, so now that we have that done, let's switch to faces. Let's grab this. Hold Shift for each individual one, because we want to specifically click things. Alright, now that we got all these, let us increase its Z. We can do it this way, or we can be a bit smart and go 2. Alrighty. Ah, doggone it, I forgot. Hold on. We press E to extrude first, then we press 2 up here and move it up there, and then there's like a corner or edge or something. Yeah, that'll be nice. We could bevel these edges, but it'd be a bit time consuming, and at this scale, we are not going to notice. Alright. Yeah, I had to move my chair. Alright, now that that's done, let's actually create the small, tiny object that I don't know what it's called, but everyone can recognize it. So Shift A. Let's do a cube. How am I going to do this? We're going to draw it. And it's going to look horrible. Alright, so... Oh my gosh, it is going to look horrible. I don't know how to do this. Alright, so we're just going to click. We're going to create this rounded stuff. Alright. Alright, created that corner. That's right-ish. Alright. Good, now let's switch back to rectangle. Let's delete this half. Perfect. Alright, we get now this height. Not 2, why not? Alright, and then the next thing we're going to do is switch to over here. I want to curve this just a bit. How will we do that? Edit mode. Yes. So we're going to select all. Then we're going to press Control R. See if we can get this. This is going to be a little difficult. We cannot seem to get it. I wanted to create a line right in the middle. Well, if I can't do that, then we'll just do the easy thing. Put it on its side right here. Shift A. Create a cube. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale this up a bit. Yes. Let's keep up here. Place it like right on there. And I'm going to rotate this slightly to the side. Minus 6. No, minus 7. So what we're going to do... Yeah. Alright. Now that's done. Grab this. Go to the screwdriver. Click Add Modifier. We're going to go to our bread and butter boolean. Grab the dropper. Click on this. Make sure it's selected the difference. And then apply. Then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to, however, easy way to make it uniform. Get rid of the minus. Boom. It's like that on that side. I'm going to grab this. Boolean. Here. Here. And done. Alright, and we don't need this anymore, so delete. Alright. Alright, and then I'm going to press Shift D, create a new one. Oh, yeah. And rotate this 180 degrees. Minus 180. Boom, perfect. I'm going to put these two together like so, this Frankenstein looking thing. And then we're going to hold shift, hold them both, and we're going to right click, and we're going to join them together. And they are now one mesh. That, if you look in edit mode, is very poorly done. I wonder if we can go inside. Yeah, so there's things on the inside. That is a problem. That could be an issue, so we're going to go to 3D printing, and we're going to do, with this item selected, we're going to do check all. Wait, no. Make manifold. Yes. It did nothing. Dang it. I was hoping it would help. Yeah, it still has this stuff inside. It's just these extra stuff could overload the file stuff sometimes, or they could actually cause actual trouble. Alright, so with our very poorly done thing, what I'm going to do is move this off to the side. Move our Grate back to here. Alt-G. Now, we're going to take this original, Shift-D, create a clone of it. Actually, hold on, let me delete this just to save myself some time. 45 degrees? Yeah, 40. Honestly, 40 looks better. But, whatever. And then Shift D. Alright. Alt G. And we're actually going to take this. We're going to scale it down a lot. Make sure its height is still 2 for now. Or whatever this height was. 2. Yeah, 2. Alright, now. This is a difficult one to decide. So, we want this to be at least around 2. So where's the 1? This is... Where's my 2mm? Dang it. I got rid of it. So Shift A, mesh, cube. Alright. 2mm, and we're just going to do... let's center the camera on it. So press period when you select an object, move the camera towards it. So I want this to be... you know, that works out. That's around the same size. Okay. Whatever. Alright. Alt G. Or what am I doing? Oh, it is in the center, so hold on. I was trying to move the camera. Wrong buttons. Alright, so this thing. So we're going to press 1 to move it on sideways, and so it's a bit hollow in the center. So this should be good enough. Yeah. There's a little bit of override, but that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Perfect. Alright, center the camera on this. D, let's move the perfect copy of this out, and then now, yeah, this is pretty much what you think it is. We're going to be creating a bunch of these. So Shift D, move this over some, Shift D. Now you can type in the exact coordinates, but it's a mess. So Shift D, Shift D. Yeah, so I'm going to skip ahead to when I finish this. Alright, it has been a while, and I have created all these little corrugated pieces all along the edges, like so, smaller ones along the edges, and they are pushed in until they're flat off against there. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to click join, doggone it, Control J. Sometimes it doesn't work if they're not connected. It's going to be irritating. Well, whatever. I'll select everything. Control J. Now this is going to be a very inefficient mesh. We got this corrugated metal thingy. It's going to be a lot smaller than this. So, like so. And we can also scale it. So we have this as a template. That's done. And yeah. Alright. Now we're going to begin making the grate. So I have two objects here. A UV sphere and a plane. So press 7 and make sure everything's working out right. Alright, and so now what we're going to do is we are going to grab scale. We're going to press, let's see, X. Yes, we want to make this thin, very thin, like so. Got it. Like so. That's pretty good. Now press 3 to look on the side, and we're going to press Control Shift X, create this, and we want to get rid of some stuff. We want to get rid of about half of it. Crap. Why did I do that? Yes. And that's good enough. Alright, that's a tool. Alright, let's move that out of the way. Now onto this. Alt G to center it. Now we want to change the scale. We want to make this a little thinner. So we're going to press S for scale and X to switch it to the X axis. This is a plane, so it's completely flat. Then I'm going to take our another object, Alt G, and then we're going to go like so. Something like this will be good. Now, I want to see. Something like this. Alright, then what we're going to do is we're going to take this, hit Boolean difference, and we're going to do this. Then apply, press 7 to get the camera right, remove this, and voila, a hole. Alright, we don't need this anymore, delete. Right, Alt G. Now what we're going to do is we're going to press Shift D, and we're going to move this over. And get whichever side you like, or how thick you want it to be. Let's see. It's about half a centimeter. It's hard to tell what this would actually be like in real life, or like when it's printed. So I'm gonna guess that's half. So that's half. So this is 1 centimeter. So I'll let it cross over just a little bit. All right, we'll select both, and then we'll press Control J to force them to join, and now they are one piece. Now we're going to do the same thing again. Shift D, move this over a bit. Make sure they're touching. Yes. And then join it. Nice. Alright, these are the makings of our grate. We're going to do the same thing again. Shift D, like so. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, I guess this is good enough. So what we're going to do is click on the object. We're going to right click and set origin to 3D cursor, so that's sort of the center, or actually set origin to geometry, Alt G to center that, and then origin to 3D cursor. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to press tab, go into edit mode. Now we're going to select faces, press A everywhere, and then we'll press E. And on the Z axis we will extrude it. And now we're going to move it, and we can move it up. Make sure we got view. What's one of these? Yeah, this one. Yes. So we want it to be 1 millimeter. You know what? Actually, 1.5 millimeters. That will be good enough. At least I hope that's 1.5. No, that's not 1.5 millimeters. What's the actual scale over here? God, I messed up all my stuff. Oh wait, this is in edit mode, that's why. Alright, that's better. Yes. There it is. Okay, 1.5 millimeters. What the? Darn it, number lock. Alright, there. Now we have our grate at our exact thickness. This 1.5 is good enough. There'll be spaces in between and such. So, yeah, this will be our metal grate for now. Alright, so now we're just going to make some, whatchamacallit, these things, little, what are those, bolts? Yeah, something like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this down, grab this, Alt G, I'm going to take this, move this. This is pretty good. Let's rotate this. Like 45 is good. So 45. I'm gonna move this up a bit to here. Yeah, that's good enough. All right, take this boolean and apply. All right, let's rotate this again to minus 45. All right. Minus 45. Alright. Then boolean. And rotate again. Okay. Minus 135. Perfect. Boolean. Cutting this sucker pretty well. Rotate here. And then minus 225. Yes, perfect. Alright, now that we're like this, let's scale this up. That's a bit worrisome. This is already 2 millimeters in height. So what we're going to do is... Wow, that's a little bit big. So we're going to scale this down even further. Let's move this down to something like right around here. .3. Alright, I made some adjustments to the grate. I added a little edge here, and I also reduced this to like 7.9. Yeah, this is barely going to be visible. It's just going to be a tiny little nubs. Reduced it to just over 7. It's going to be like so. Yeah, just these small little things. So I'm going to go Shift D, move it over a bit. You can have some space at Shift D, move it over a bit. Yeah, Shift D. Keep recentering the camera to move it along easy. Yeah. Making models is a long and tedious process, so good luck with it on your own. These things take time. The worst thing is when you design something and then your slicer seems to fail and can't actually recreate the thing you just made. Let's move this over to here. And after all, this is a hobby within a hobby. For all I know, none of all the stuff that I just did right here is even going to be noticeable. Alright. Okay. Let's shift this up just a tad. Ah, they're uneven. Dang it. Alright, Shift D. Bring these suckers all the way down here. Yes. Shift D. Grab this. Put it towards the center. Rotate it. Like what looks to be 90. Yeah, good luck guessing that one. And then we're going to delete a few. Delete you. Delete you. Delete you. I'm gonna delete you just cause. Yeah, crap. Like so. Alright, then scoot these down just a tad. Spread them out a bit. Yeah. Select all of these. Shift A, select until we only have the ones we want. Shift D. Drag this. Alright. And there. Now we circle the whole thing. There'll be small mistakes here and there, but whatever. Control J, join them all, and they are now one object. And alright. And that's the grate. Now let's start making the actual bases. Now, before we actually get to making the bases, we want to do one very specific thing. So first let's grab base, Alt G. Alright. Now you see this? We want to bring this right under this line. This red line, which is also underneath the cursor here. Alright. Then we're going to set origin to 3D cursor. Good. This is important because it's just going to be for ease of all the models and stuff. Now let's grab any of our pieces. Press 1. We want them to all be just over this line. It's okay if it's touching just a little bit. The reason for this is when we just rapidly bring the bases, we want them to be already underneath the line, and then we want all of our objects to be above the line so that we don't have to finagle them around every single time. Yeah, alright, so this will be above. It's okay if there's a little bit of hang up. And then we have all our bricks, who are all sort of around the same height. Put here. Let's move this one out of the way for right now. Oh, darn it, I selected too much. There we go. And then origin to 3D cursor. Alright. That should be all of them, hopefully. And then finally this last one, Alt G. Oh yeah, it's perfect. Alright. And now we are ready to actually make the bases. Alright, let's start with the Patriarch's bases, obviously. Alt G. Alright, let's move you, sucker, right into the center. So we want to have that being avoided. It's the dead zone. Sorry, we have this. Alt G. It is under there. Okay. We move that up slightly above. Yeah. Alright, alright. How finicky. Alright, now what we're going to do is... How do we want to do this? This is a bit irritating. So clearly there is a space where there is nothing. So let's actually create a simple measures. Shift A. We're going to do a curve of a cylinder. We're going to make that 96 edges. Yeah, make it super smooth. And then we're just going to scale this sucker up until it is the general area of this pipe thingy. Yeah, just slightly bigger. Alright, good. Now let's just move this out of the way. Alright. So Alt G, everything's in the center. Alright, so we got to build our base all around that. That's going to be a little irritating to work around, so how do we want to do this? This is the creative part. How do I want his base to be? You know what? Let's have his base be sort of an amalgamation of everything. So we're going to Shift D, create a copy clone of this. Let's put this here. Alright, that works. Let's add some grade. Shift D, create a copy of that. And let's put that here. Actually, let us get this sort of perfect. Sensing a problem there. Well, that'll be for the future. Alright, that's kind of good. Alright, now let's get some bricks. Let's have a bunch of perfect bricks. I think this is the perfect brick, right? No, it's not. Darn it. Well, we'll have this brick. Which one's the perfect brick? This one is. Alright then. Okay, so how about this will be fine. Yeah, now we're gonna do Shift D. Let's move this down to here. It'll be fine. And Shift D. Let's move this down to here. Alright, Shift D. Let's move this around here. Nice. Let's move this girl up. Alright, now let's have one of them be broken. We'll add this. Alt G. Gonna move this sucker right here. Perfect uniformity-ish. Alright, let's pick another broken brick. This'll do. We'll put this here. Now, if you noticed, they're bleeding off the edges. This is something we'll deal with soon enough, hopefully. Alright. Let's grab back to a perfect brick. Yes. Yes. Alright, I'll just skip ahead. Alright, so we have all our bricks and stuff placed out and about right there. Looking nice, looking fine. But we have all this spillover, so we're going to have to fix that. So first we're going to need a new tool that I completely forgot to mention in the first video. So we're going to take a copy of the base. Alright, let's go into edit mode. We're going to select faces, grab this, press E to extrude, click out, and then create a new one. Alright, that's it for that. Alright, now what do we need? We need a box mesh cube. Let us bring this sucker out here. I'm going to scale that up a lot. It shall be gigantic. Alright. Now let's look down here. Yeah, that'll be good enough. Alright, we're going to grab this. No, we're going to grab this. Boolean. Actually, first let's... actually, what I want to do is first lower this face down quite a bit. Good enough. Actually, no, let's just be insured. Alright, now back to here, select the base itself, and boom. Exact outer perimeter we need. Alright, and we can delete this spare. Alright, now that's out of the way. Got to apply that to here. Okay, so then, well, this will be fine. We'll set origin to 3D cursor, so this is where it's going to be. Alright, so now, the slightly difficult part. How do I see these? I haven't shown this yet. Clicking this allows me to switch to wireframe, which is a little finicky. Hold on, I will fix this in one moment. Alright. So now we fixed that problem. So, what we got here is, now we can see everything. So what we're going to do is hopefully not break anything. So we're going to Control S to save our work. Alright, I'm going to take this grate and hit Boolean. We're going to click this. Boom, and it shaves it all around. Wonderful. However, we gotta do a double check. I'm gonna click on this, press Tab, go to E, press A to select everything, and press this for the vertices. If we see anything flying off, so here are some of the small issues, which is this. I haven't noticed it, but there are now holes everywhere. Oof. Oof. And so we have to fix this, and like these stray lines, edges. So this is one of the other issues. Darn it. What the heck? There we go. So we just select our edges and then press F to fill it in. And that is going to take a while. I'll get back to you in a moment. Alright, moving on. That took a while to fix that, but we have alternative methods of dealing with that. So we're going to do it to this grate, like so, boom. However, if you noticed, part of it is removed. So you're going to select this, press tab, go into its massive edit mode, select vertices. I'm going to delete vertices. You will notice that this may take a bit of time. It's getting there. Okay, that's one way. Good. Now we're here, here, almost there, almost there, almost there, and there. And now, once again, giant gaps, and a gap there. Dang it, must have done that. Whatever, improvise, adapt, overcome. Welcome to the very long set of trial and error of getting this stuff right. But don't worry, there are ways around this to make it faster. Stylistic choices, actually. Alright, now that that's done, we continue on with each and every single one of these bricks that are out here. Boom. Oh crap. I'm trying to delete that. Boolean. Now, like so, same thing here. Boolean. And we're just going to repeat this process ad nauseum, which is why this kind of stuff takes a long time. During when I was making the Sisters of Silence bases, they took like a week in total to get right. I mean, part of it was painting it right, but also there was the other part of actually getting something that would work and would print, and that was visually legible. You could actually tell what you were looking at. Alright, I'll just skip ahead for all of you. Alright, so we have successfully made our lives much harder. Alright, so we'll ignore that for now. We'll turn this height to 3. Change of plans. Oh wait, no. We'll just raise this up to here. Alright. And so, like so. Alright. One thing we're going to do is we're going to save our work. I'm going to raise this up a bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to select everything here except the base. I'm going to press Shift and click twice to undo it. Control join. Dock on it, not active mesh. Join. Okay, grab two things. Join. Well, sometimes this join doesn't work, but you have to grab them in small piecemeal here and there. And join. Yeah. Join. Yeah. Darn it. Join. 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 Join and join. Alright, now that we got all of those here, Alt-G, we'll bring this back down to here. And we'll scale this up to back to 10, and now we're going to just get rid of all the stuff in the center. So we're going to grab this, and we're going to grab Boolean, and we're going to use this to delete the center. Alright. And that should look like, yeah, a perfect hole in the center. More work needs to be done. And then we're going to take this, we're going to lower it down to 3. I'm going to drop this onto the base. Like so. There we go. That is a tad taller than the grates and everything else. That is irritating. Everything is taller than the grates, so we're going to move it like so. So now we have to get everything the right height. Oh my goodness. I joined them all. I did not think of that part through. Well, welcome to the difficulty of making bases. So much can go wrong. Alright, so based off the picture over here, you know what? It can kind of work. So what I am going to do is I'm going to edit mode. I'm just going to increase the height of this one face, and yeah, something like to this, something right around here. Yeah. So essentially, there's piping here in the Patriarch's body piece. So gotta make our decisions. This looks tolerable. We will adapt. Alright, and then join these. I'm gonna have origin set to geometry. Actually, no. Origin set to 3D cursor. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the base. We're gonna grab this boolean, and we're gonna cut the bottom right there by the base, making it perfectly flat. Good, good. And then we shall join the two together. They are now all one piece. Now we're going to address this big thing, this huge problem here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to build a circle. That's pretty much it. Alrighty then. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this thing we made. We're going to actually, no. Yeah, actually no. We're not going to use this. We will create 2 cylinders. Alrighty. Yeah, 96. I'll scale this sucker up, and it will be up to the size of the entire base. Alright, 44. We don't need it to be that big, so it's just the height to be that big. And we're going to create another mesh of a cylinder, and this time it's going to be not as big. It's actually going to be this around the same thickness as this stuff. So around I have reason to believe that this thing was uneven. Always measure twice, cut once. Alright, so basically what we're going to do is we create this nice little ring here. So too thin. Alright, so Alt-G. I think this is going to have to be as thick as it can be. Alright, then we're going to grab this, Alt-G. Now what we're going to do is basically take our little cylinder, the wide one, and it's going to be a ring now. We're going to take Boolean, click on this. It's going to hollow it out. And now we're going to grab this, put this to one side in case we need it again. Now we have this sweet ring, which we will now lower to 3. I've done this before. That's going up. To 5. Close enough. I'm going to put that up here. And yeah, we got our grates, we got our bricks. The same height over there. Yeah. That. Now, this is a bit of a mess. You can envision it being painted and you can sort of make it work. Now, there are a few things you could do. You could take this, some hours you spent making the single base, and be like, okay, that was a failure. I will make a few more variations, or you can stick with it and just do whatever. So that's one thing. So we have all the parts here, and we have a spare. Doggone it! I'll have to make another spare 50mm base. So, So this is a good foray. You can constantly keep trying and remaking your bases and such. And yeah. It's up to you to decide if this is acceptable or not from your work and stuff. Probably not for me. I'm gonna save my game, or save my scene. This is terrible. This is many hours of work down the drain. So, alright then. Alright, some time has passed and I have remade the entire Patriarch base. This time without the circle. This one is completely built in one piece and has the manifold already made on certain individual pieces. So now let's get to actually like importing this into, well, like our 3D printing software. So first let's save the scene, Control S. Then what I'm going to do is rapidly just delete all this excess that's not the base. Then go to File, Export, STL, and then we're going to go to, let's see, let's go back one, other, darn it, whatever. We'll deal with the folder stuff later. I don't know how to spell his name. Okay, export, and voila. And before we go back, we're going to go to File. We're going to go to Open Recent, Bases Vanilla. Don't save. And this will bring back the scene as such. So we didn't lose anything. Alright. Alright then. We are now into the Photon Workshop, this stuff. So I imported the Patriarch base. Now we're going to notice something. So everything looks fine except right here. You see these things? These essentially will not print. The things that are black like this, they're not going to show up. So there's going to be gaps and holes in there. You know what? I'm willing to overlook this. So what we're going to do is we're going to autofill, and so it's going to hollow this out, but it's also going to create hexagons within somewhere. So that ought to help a little bit. And so now what we're going to do is we're essentially going to add support. So if we're going to print a lot of stuff, I mean, I guess it's fine if we want to do it like this, but it could cause some trouble, issues here and there, and it could, sometimes there's like warping and stuff like that, and also a lot of wasted resin will be trapped down in here, and I don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to, what is it? Yeah. Okay. We're going to adjust this, so I think 40, yeah, that's good enough. Could be 45. Yes, and need to rotate this as well. So maybe like another 45. Something right, yeah. So essentially we want as many angles as possible. So we don't want like the brick being parallel or horizontal to the ground. So there's an angle for it to build up. So on this way, there's angles this way, there's angles that way. Angles being built in every direction. That's pretty good. It's pretty decent. Alright, now that we have that, yeah, darn. Controls for this are always, I can never remember how to navigate this. This is for my Photon S. Then we're going to take movement and we're going to move this sucker up. Every millimeter is going to take some time, so let's go with 3. Now we're going to go over and, darn it. I need to rotate this so it's flat like a cookie. So let's see, which way is it? That is not the right way. Well, actually, yeah, it'll be the right way. Yes, yes, yes. Alright, nice. Alright, and did this thing, yeah, it went back on the ground, so 1, 2, 3. Alright, now that's done, let's go over and let's build our supports. So all the red is stuff that is unsupported. So I have some settings if you have the same software. Auto support angle 80 degrees, support density 0.5, support minimum length is 1 millimeter. Alright, so fill, it'll auto generate all this stuff. And it is actually kind of bad because this bottom ring doesn't have anything, so I'm going to try to add some extra supports at this most bottom juncture nearest the bottom, if I can manage that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yes, yes. So I don't know about any other software. This is the only software I've used, and so this is to make sure that the bottom rim will be printed. That looks just about right. This does not look as good. This does not look as good. This stuff, will that print? It should. This is looking like 4 or 5 hours to get this thing printed. Let's add a little extra. Yeah, extra support. Alrighty then. And yeah, and so what we essentially will do is we will fill out this plate with all the bases we want. Yes. So looking from the top. Yeah, and it'll just barely fit. I have a small 3D printer. I did not know that was small when I got it, but so we're stuck with this. So, and one last final thing we want to do is we want to send it to its the USB, but I'm going to do a test right here, so I'm just going to save it in here. I'll delete it afterwards. But so essentially when this is sliced, this is actually the final check to actually see if your designs will work. Because sometimes you can design everything, you can put it in here, and then you get to this part and you'll find out that what you're going to print will not work. I had this problem when I made my custom Nurgle dice. I just could not print what I originally designed. So we'll take 3.5 hours. Alright, preview. Alright. So basically we're going to look through and see if there's any deviations. So, okay, it's making a circle, it's making all the stuff within. So essentially it looks like the thing that we've created. The thing that is noteworthy that we need to pay attention to, if like all of a sudden like it's a solid brick of white here, that means there's some sort of error and you're going to print out a brick. And it looks good. As far as I can tell, it looks good. Probably. Well, we'll never know until we print it. Alright then. Alright, and that's pretty much it. The video has gone long enough. I explained everything I could possibly do, and it's just a matter of your own creativity and what you want to design and stuff. So I've only created the Patriarch's base so far. Gone through that entire process. I have so many other bases to make, and that's going to take a while. But, well, this is essentially the extent of my knowledge of what to do, and is mostly just used for making bases. Maybe in the future when I hit some Space Marines, some iconography here and there. But yeah, this is basically what I use to make my own stuff, and well, good luck to you and whatever endeavor you have. So like the video if you like the video, share it if you want to share it, comment if you want to comment, or ask any other technical question that I may have left out or something like that. And now that this is done, my next video is going to be painting and take a wild guess what the model is. Alright, bye.